Today, I want to talk about the challenge of being unique. Yes, so with me today is my aloe plant here. I got it from Jamaica many years ago. It's still hanging on, and I just really have it. I don't use it for much, but anyway, let me not get sidetracked. The challenge of being unique. So, when I say unique, I don't mean, special in the sense of, well, maybe special, but not unique better than anyone, like not prettier than anyone, not uglier than anyone, like not in no extremes as in looks or intelligence or anything like that. I don't mean that, or a nerd or anything like that. I mean just being different, being one of a kind. That can be positive and negative. You're just different. You're just different from everyone who's around you. Maybe if you were in a different environment, there would be more people who are like you or more people who are equally, individually different from one another. But in your environment that you are currently in, you're just different. You're just different. You're just in everything that you do. The way you look is just different. As I said, not more beautiful, not super ugly, just different. The things that you like, the things that you find funny, how you eat, what you believe in, you're just different. The music you maybe listen to, or if you don't listen to any music at all, you're just different. So that is challenging. That is not easy. And that is my life. I think it has always been, my life has been set up that way for me to be different because, as I mentioned in previous videos, I was raised in Germany, but if you even look at my makeup, so what I'm made up of, I'm of Jamaican descent. I was born, however, in the United States of America, and I live in Germany. So that is already a unique triangle that is not common. And then, of course, living in Germany, the majority of darker skinned people are Africans. So people will look at me and try to figure out which African country I'm from. Usually they will put me somewhere in West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana. But I've heard everything. I've heard everything from Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Uganda, Ethiopia, Tanzania. I heard everything. Kenya. Yep, Kenya. So I heard everything. I would say, I'm definitely of Bantu origin somehow. My sister's DNA test says she's, has a lot of Igbo in her. So, I guess somewhere in that region. But of course, I'm not like my ancestors from hundreds of years ago, but not me. I am, a mix of a cultural heritage mix of American, Jamaican, German, and African. And growing up in Germany and then traveling a lot, traveling to Jamaica, traveling to the United States, that gave me a different influence. And then, just growing up to be interested in things that most people aren't interested in. Also when it comes to later, when it came to music, when it came to things that I was into and interested in. And to some degree, it is interesting to be a pioneer in some things. Oftentimes I pioneered things. I pioneered styles. I pioneered baggy pants in the 90s in my school. Or just generally hip-hop music. I listened to hip-hop before the German kids did. So there are many things that I just did first, what people would look at me as weird for the first in the beginning. But then that went with so many things, just so many things that people would look at me and be like, what? Why are you doing that? And what is this and this? And then after a while, it was like, okay, it trickled into the mainstream, whatever it was. So I was kind of used to always being different and then oftentimes leaving what ended in the mainstream. And then I was like, nah, I'm good. I moved on to something else. And then with food, I became a vegan when I was in my early 20s. And at that time, only a very few, like maybe animal activists from PETA were vegans. Like you wouldn't see a lot of vegans out there. Yeah, you would have to read the label of everything. It wasn't vegan written on it. Like you would have to read the label of everything to figure out if it's vegan. And it wasn't like you had vegan sections and vegan this and vegan that. It was very fringe and very like people did not know what that is. I had to explain. And whenever I met another black vegan, it was like, what? Because if you would meet vegans, usually they wouldn't be of African descent. They would be, Germans or, white people. So that was then again something like, ugh, you're different. And then I don't drink alcohol. Of course, but I did. I used to as a young teenager when I was like, well, let me not say I used to. I did it 1-2 times when I was 18. And then when I was in my early 20s before I became a vegan, I was like, let me try this alcohol thing. But then after a while, I was like, I stopped because I did not want, like at that time when I was 21 or so, I was already thinking, I don't want to be someone who's used to drinking alcohol and I want to have children one day and I don't want to be drunk in front of my children ever and I don't want to be tempted to alcohol. So I'm going to have fun now a couple times and then I'll stop radically. And that's what I did. I don't drink alcohol now and I didn't drink alcohol anymore after that little phase. And then I remember when I told my friends, you know what? When we party, I'm not going to drink anymore. They're like, why? You can't do that and we want to have fun. So I was often the first one to do something and I just did it. I didn't do it because it was a trend anywhere. I didn't do it because someone told me to. It was just, I had my opinion, my conviction, my research or whatever it was. And I believed in it and I stuck to it and I did it, And I'm very much like that still today, which is, I find somehow to my detriment sometimes. Because I really wish, like a friend of mine said recently to me, but she feels as if I'm deliberately going against the grain. And there is definitely something about me when everyone does something, believes in something, likes something, dances this dance, sing this song, that I'm a bit critical. Like I take a step back and I'm like, what is? I don't just join in because everyone does it, but I do have, of course, like everyone else, I think, the desire to fit in a way, like to just be like everyone. I don't want people to stare me down on the street and to look at me and to think, oh, she looks so different. Or every time I talk to someone for them to have that idea of me like, oh, she's just different. Like, I don't seek that experience. I don't seek that image. And I don't think people usually do because I try to be normal when I talk to people. I try to be like everyone else. I try to, have small talk and friendly banter and be like, ha ha ha, yeah. But I would say I'm socially awkward, but I can hide it very well or fairly well. I wouldn't say very, but fairly well. I can talk and stuff, but if I'm not in a mood, I'm just not in the mood. And then there might be situations where, for example, I'll pick up my children from somewhere, from a party or whatever, and all the other parents are there and hey, ha ha ha, and you know what, ha ha. And I'll just stand there in the corner because I don't really have anything to share with them. Not because I look at them as less or anything like that. I just don't have much to share with them. And it is awkward standing there. And in that moment, I feel awkward for them, even though they might not care, but it's just an overall awkward situation and I just want to be out of the situation as fast as possible and I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable because of me because I don't have nothing to talk. If someone comes up to me and starts talking, of course I talk, and I'm friendly, I think. But I'm not going out of my way and being someone else just to fit in or to be liked. I can't do that. I can't be someone else to be liked. And again, sometimes I feel like, oh, I wish I could. I wish I was just different. I was just normal. Or I wish I could just, pull out this personality that is super like, ha, 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 ha. But I can't. I'm rather shy. I'm rather reserved is the better word. Maybe not shy, but reserved. Quiet and all of that when I'm in a strange environment. But I still can't pretend to be someone else. When I'm with friends, I'm not shy. And I do have friends, and I have friends who kind of fit in with my different aspects. So if there's this one thing I'm into, then I have a friend who's also into that very thing, but they might not be into the other stuff I'm into. And then I have a friend who's into this a lot, or, friends who I have from primary school, from high school, and they just know me, even if they ended up liking other things, but we just know each other and we get along, and that's cool. Or, friends because we're of Jamaican descent, and there is just like we grew up in Germany, but we're of Jamaican descent, so we have a lot in common there. So, I do have very good friends, very close friends that that are very precious to me and that I've had for many, many years. And I also think I can make new friends still, but I'm just usually there's always something that is like, okay, why do you do that? And what is that? So I realize now that that is probably a path that God has put me on very early on, just from putting me in the position of being the only child of African Jamaican, descent in my whole high school. And being the only one here, the only one there in so many situations growing up in the 90s in Germany. So I think it's a challenge, but it's also something that I've learned to appreciate. And also when it comes to my faith, there are so many things. My faith journey has probably been now a 20-year journey. Always looking for the one true God, but having many detours in different cultures, different spiritualities, and always not going with the mainstream, not going with Christianity, not going with, Islam wouldn't even be an option, but maybe the Nation of Islam or something like that, because I was a huge Malcolm X fan and I still appreciate him. So, but I never could just join a group or be like, okay, I'm this now, I'm that now. I always had to dig deeper and find the truth of the matter, So I was in many different things, but when I found truth in something, I held on to it and stuck with it, and I didn't just jump around and switch around. I was like, okay, let me try this, let me try that. Okay, and this is connected to this, then let me go there, and okay, here I'm gonna dig deeper. That's kind of how I operate. So in the Bible, it says that you should be holy, that we should be holy, because God is holy. So to be holy means to be set apart. To be set apart means sometimes also to be lonely, to be alone, to be on your path, on your journey alone, so that you cling to God even more eventually. Because if you're on the path to be holy and God is holy, then you're on your path to God. And that is a lonely path. In this world, that is a lonely path. Trust me, it is a lonely path. When it comes to finding a partner, when it comes to raising your children the way you want to raise your children, when it comes to activities with friends, when it comes to how you entertain yourself, it is a lonely path. But and there might be some grieving going on, letting go of worldly things, because we might be used to it, or we might not know how to navigate on this path of being holy. But after a while of being on that path, and you see the benefits of it, and you see how beautiful it is, and you see how God shows up for you, in those moments, it doesn't even feel lonely anymore. In those moments, okay, you know what you're doing it for and who you're doing it for, and you see the benefits in it. And yeah, this feeling of loneliness just goes away. Sometimes because you meet other people on your path. Even though it's lonely, it's not completely empty. There are some people on the path to holiness. Or because, the Most High God just fills every single spot that you need to be fulfilled. And sometimes even, before he does, you feel fulfilled in some areas, but not in every area. But you feel like, yeah, he got you. He's with you and you're good. Even if that area is not fulfilled yet, it's kind of like, okay, let's wait and see if it should be, or if that spot should be filled by him as well. So yeah, I just wanted to share the path of the unique person who's not better or worse than anyone. Again, has nothing to do with being above anyone or below anyone for that matter. It just means being different. And that can be tough. That can be really tough. And it can be lonely. But it doesn't have to be lonely. If you found purpose in that uniqueness and you find a connection to the Most High through that uniqueness, and you see, okay, that's why, I'm always the odd one out. Because God put you on that path and He wants you to be, then you realize, wow, I was blessed my whole life while thinking, all I wanted to do was fit in. But He wants you to stand out. He wants you to be an example to yourself, to others, and to join Him. So yeah, that was my little rant on being unique. And I don't know yet exactly how my video style is going to be in the future. Probably going to get into more editing and more, of this exciting video making stuff. But I also like to just chat and see if people are out here resonating with my content. And also I want to start a German channel where I talk about similar things, maybe more about faith-based things for people of African descent in Germany, because I feel like I would like to reach out to some of y'all. Anyway, until then, have a wonderful evening.